What it do, my brothers and sisters? It's your boy, Cinema Recap, chilling with you today. And it looks like we're gonna take a look at Little Man, a movie about a tiny menace in the hood. Let's get to it, G, but for real, spoilers ahead. Already off the bat, we're taking to prison. We have our first inmate and fellow soap dropper, Calvin Sims. He's the reason why the movie's called Little Man. Calvin's doing some pull-ups, but he's a bit of a smooth brain.
3. Yo, what comes after 3? 4.
After that moronic display, some cops arrive to tell Calvin that he's being released. And when I count like an idiot, I get a bop on the head from the wife. Calvin gets released like cum inside a Swiss cheese condom and is getting picked up by some loud guy in a car. Well, instead of picking him up, he flops him down with the car door.
Percy, I'm sorry, Cal. You stupid.
That's an understatement. This is Percy. And if you thought Calvin was stupid, wait till you see Percy. They ride off and someone's ordered them to do a job stealing a diamond worth $100,000. Percy's so excited by this development that he tells Cal he wants to be a rapper with the money he's gonna make. And then he proceeds to embarrass himself parodying 50 Cent's Candy Shop. And one thing's for sure, his rhymes are so bad, Weird Al wouldn't take him up. Cal thinks the same, but Percy calls him a manlet, and he proceeds to rant about not wanting love. Percy then wusses out from Calvin's Will Smith smack.
Check this out. Now you're gonna hang in the back until Vanessa gets here. And I'll give you a signal, you come out, okay?
It's cool. I got you.
This is Daryl, the man of the hour. Looks like he's about to make a major mistake in life. The one with the guitar is Jimmy. For him, everything is a mistake, including himself. Right on target, Vanessa goes into the scene. She seems to be why Daryl arranged this whole shindig. Apparently, this whole scene is clickbait itself because it's not leading up to a marriage proposal. Oh no, they've already done that. This is a baby proposal. Well, that and the fact that Daryl says he's still working on the diamond, which is not present on Vanessa's finger.
I got the news, and I'm
Pregnant, yes!
Daryl's excitement couldn't be kept in his pants, so Jimmy thinks this is the signal. But Vanessa rages on him. Turns out Vanessa isn't pregnant, but is promoted. This prompts Jimmy to run his mouth again. Daryl shuts him up with his good friend Lincoln and continues to be bummed out because he has to wait a couple years to get an actual child.
so no more late night poker with the guys.
Cool.
No more afternoon quickies.
Ah, Daryl, go back. Holy cow, that's where we draw the line. A child's not worth afternoon quickies. Daryl, turn back. Sad thing is, they haven't had afternoon quickies since Vanessa's old man moved in. Yeah, would have been awkward to catch them in that.
Now, can we celebrate?
And Jimmy's back. Whoop-de-doo. Vanessa, hit him please. Going back to our dynamic duo. They park somewhere and Percy brings out a 9mm. Calvin doesn't want to be dropping soaps in prison again, so he smacks Percy like a wet tube sock. Cal says he's got a plan, so they head out. Heading inside, it's a jewelry store. Specifically, this one keeps a priceless diamond right at the center, so that would-be thieves could easily plan to steal it. Calvin's in Percy's bag and he waddles away, while Percy gets some unneeded company.
Yes, may I help you?
Percy, CEO and A&R of P Unit Records. I'm here to pick up some jewelry for one of my artists.
Well, holler at you, girl!
White woman moment. Percy and the cringy saleswoman talk it up, while Calvin sneaks underneath the priceless jewel to drill and snatch it. You think they would have heard those power tools by now. Whatever, then some prune lets her chihuahua loose. Really, who does that? And the mutt rushes to where Calvin's hiding. Calvin waddles towards Percy's bag and they make an inconspicuous break for it.
Has anyone seen my dog?
Didn't have a leash for it, let it go, and now you're looking for it? Now why are people like this? Calvin opens the lights in the bag and he gets into a little tussle with the dog. The old fart notices it and calls Percy a thief. Okay, we can hear the dog in the bag, can't hear someone drilling the jewelry away.
The queen's diamond, it's gone!
With this crummy security, you guys deserve to be robbed. Team Black Rocket books it out of there. But the old coot follows him and demands her dog. Calvin throws the annoying mutt out of the car and they zoom out of there. Percy unleashes the inner DK and drifts around like a schizo on a wheelchair. They get out of the vehicle and see a wheel boot, which is why they were spinning around. Percy says it's some broad named Nettie who did that, because he got her carrying his seed. Sirens blaring in the distance makes Percy run for it, but he forgot Calvin, so he goes back to get him and they flee together.
They went that way.
What do you look like?
The black,
Dark or light?
medium.
The cops describe the two like Starbucks orders, so we catch up to him running away. Percy suddenly gets a cramp, then they split up inside some convenience store, and soon the cops follow suit. Inside, Daryl and Vanessa are arguing about a non-existing baby. The cops nearing Calvin, he ditches the diamond inside Vanessa's purse. Suddenly, one of the cops repeatedly beats down a different black guy, and the other cop stops him.
You said African American.
Yeah, but I said a mocha caramel color. He's like a Starbucks black decaf, maybe a little cream.
Maybe the black guy should have given him a Pepsi, following Jenner's 2017 advice. Daryl and Vanessa get out of there, and Calvin and Percy are on their tail via a fake taxi. Cal and Percy follow him all the way home, and inside, Vanessa greets her stuck-up pops who hates Daryl. The thieves eavesdrop on their conversation.
You know, for a moment, I thought you were going to tell me that you were going to let this one impregnate you. But I see now this man ain't got no bullets in the chamber.
Yikes. Cold as ice telling off Daryl there. The two idiots are having their spat, and the little lady says they're gonna have a kid once the time is right, so play nice, you cute little morons. Calvin overhears this, and unless you're a lobotomite, you're catching on to the reason behind this movie's title. Of course, Percy brings out a gun, Calvin says otherwise, and the two see a baby across the street.
Nah, no, I ain't dressing up like no baby.
He then goes to dress up like a baby. Percy carries him in a dog basket, then leaves him in front of the door with a note and rings that bell. The dog who probably owns the basket pisses on Calvin. Best thing is he opens his mouth despite that. Daryl answers the door and ta-da! A stork granted a wish, albeit a wish with crappy grammar.
He's looked after Calvin. We wasn't able to keep him?
It cuts there, and there's no R words being said around here, Susan, so keep your skirt on. Daryl and Vanessa take him inside, but also takes a big whiff of the gamer girl pee Calvin's been drenched in. Vanessa shows her dad the little wretch, but he complains that he reeks of Belle Delphine. They look for diapers and undress Calvin at the table.
Whoa.
Whoa.
What is it?
Whoa!
Calvin, to say the least, is very proud of his, girth. Vanessa then calls child services while the two change Calvin's diaper. Looks like they're unavailable for the weekend, so they opt to call the police. Up until Calvin cries like a gremlin. Not to mention he's coughing like Amy Winehouse too. So much so they had to take him to rehab. I mean the doctor. Yeah, let's go with that. The two pseudo-parents set out to take Calvin to the doctor, but Pops wants him out of there.
Was it a little cough?
No, this was like a grown man smoker's cough.
The doctor shrugs this off and then struggles to get his shirt off for further examination. They soon find a knife scar or an appendicitis scar. And then they find a bicep tattoo. Amazing how all three of them are not catching on that he's an actual grown man. The doctor then wants an oral exam, but Calvin won't open up. Tickling solves this. Then,
This child has the mouth of a 40-year-old man.
I told you, America has a decrepit medical system. The doctor overall says he's fine, and tells him to take his temperature at night. Daryl wants to keep him and talks to Vanessa about it. But while they're talking, Calvin makes off with the bag. Vanessa was about to slip up saying he's adopted, but Calvin gets the goo goo gaga eyes and calls her mama. Of course, she's fooled by it and takes Calvin. Someplace else, Percy's getting asked by Mr. Walken on where his diamond is. Percy reassures the gang star that they'll get his diamond.
You're trying to hustle me, Percy.
Hustler? Ain't nothing happening, Mr. W.
Percy explains in some Moon Runes language, but Mr. W says his problem is that he has no diamond. In 24 hours, if he still doesn't get his diamond, then Percy gets hands and feet flying to his face. So Percy agrees and the two brutes throw him out. My mouth can't help but water when I see Pops carrying those delicious looking cookies to his comfy chair to watch the news. Calvin pops up in front of him and he's all surprised by the little ugly urchin's appearance. So he goes to get some milk. Calvin sees this opportunity to sit on Pop's throne and try to get some of his cookies. Pops makes him get off and he rants to Daryl and Vanessa about the annoyance. And while they were doing that, Calvin rubs the top cookie on his armpits and on his crevices as revenge. The doorbell rings and the couple get it with Calvin, while Pops grabs that cookie that Calvin contaminated.
Look at that little bite to it.
And just like that, Chernobyl mouth. Some guests come in and the couple introduce a creepily smiling Calvin.
What a mess.
Honey, that's not nice.
True dat, Greg and Brittany. Someone needed to say it. The other kids get kinda scared of him and Janet bores the room by preaching Jesus.
Oh yeah, he's adorable. In a National Geographic sort of way.
That's Richard. He's kinda poggers. Dear God, what is that word? Brittany asks their maid to go play outside with their kids while Greg tries to bury the hatchet with Calvin. He asks him to give him 5, and Calvin serves up a brutal home run pitcher toss. Janet says they brought Calvin some stuff, including a Dinosaurs Rex tape, probably a crummy parody of Barney. Richard comes over and grabs his nose. After he lets go, it was Calvin's turn.
He's got my nose. He's hurting.
Still amazing that no one in the room knows that he's a stunted criminal. After that vice grip, they move some stuff and fit some new clothes on Calvin. He then has his eyes locked on, Lady Dimitrescu's cans. He has to go up on Brittany's lap, and Vanessa talks about careers and kids. But little Cal keeps his eyes and hands on the prize. It goes from pervy to straight up Epstein creepy. Brittany suggests that he should be nursed with mommy milkies. So unexpectedly, Janet switches with Brittany to nurse Calvin, and she forces him to, empty the milk truck that had just arrived. But instead,
Whoa! That is not okay!
the night is then quickly over and all the guests leave, but not before Brittany asks a kissy from Calvin. So he sucks face with her.
Wow, he's a little charmer, isn't he?
Yeah, call the 5-0 on him. Soon they put Cal into a nice hot bath. Vanessa asks if he wants some company with him, which he agrees happily, thinking Vanessa might come in with him. But
It's bath time.
of course Calvin wants to vomit once he sees Daryl hanging brain. And then Daryl farts in the tub to have a good time with him, but Cal just gags some more. After bath time, Vanessa tickles him, but Calvin goes full creeper on her. Daryl interjects, trying to take his temperature, but Vanessa stops him.
Sweetie, he's a baby, so that's a rectal thermometer.
Raise your hand if you knew the male G-spot is in your prostate, which is the butt. Subscribe to Cinema Recap for more terrible fun facts. Calvin then experiences this little fun fact.
It's in the tunnel, son. It's almost at your stop.
So after his Thomas the Skank Engine incident, he's put into a crib and a little spinning lullaby toy to help sleep goes off. After the couple pisses off, he thinks that this isn't going to put him to sleep. But indeed, yes, it does put him to sleep. After a while, he wakes up and sneaks downstairs to steal the diamond. Daryl wakes up and notices Cal escaped his wooden prison, and then Calvin calls Percy up.
What's going on? I need you to come pick me up. Look, got the
Aha! Race for the sky.
Pops isn't buying Cal's crud and reaches to the phone talking to Percy. Percy says some zipperhead words and hangs up. Daryl then arrives on the scene and Pops explains that he's a little thief. Daryl in turn doesn't buy his BS and takes innocent little Calvin away. Calvin flips the hobo with a shotgun off. Daryl gets some milk for the two of them and heats it up. And he promises a good weekend awaits for him, while Vanessa eavesdrops on this little sweet talk. They toast and drink to it, while Vanessa giggles.
What's so funny? You all giggly for?
You're drinking Janet's breast milk.
Nice. The old natural, eh? They go to bed, but not before a little pillow talk. And one thing leads to another, and that leads to Calvin being a voyeur. Daryl and Vanessa get under the covers and the woohoo is on. The next day. Vanessa's still fired up because she claims that they did it twice last night. Up until Calvin's uncovered next to Vanessa. I love a good NTR. Vanessa suggests breakfast and Daryl can't put 2 and 2 together. Downstairs, Calvin watches Dinosaur Rex. Yeah, it's the crummy parody of Barney, not the Stinson one, and Vanessa makes breakfast. Pops comes in and switches the D-Rex to morning news. Lo and behold, it's a report about Calvin's criminal streak.
D-Rex, D-Rex, D-Rex.
Oh, stop all that D-Rex, whatever you're talking about.
Calvin keeps on chanting for D-Rex until Vanessa switches it back, and then serves Pops breakfast. Annoyed by all that, Pops reads the paper instead. Someone call Cruz cause it's Mission Impossible time. Calvin repeatedly bungee jumps over to Pops' plate just to steal his food as he gains a little suspicion. Vanessa's impressed with his clean plate, but Pops blames Calvin for the famine of the USSR, so he decides to go down to the diner to do diddly squat and Vanessa bids him goodbye. Daryl walks on the scene and tattles to Vanessa that he caught Pops about to go full doom eternal on Calvin's sorry tush the previous night.
He ate all of his breakfast, and then he told me that the baby ate it.
It's amazing how the crazy old fart is the only one noticing Calvin isn't a baby. Daryl suggests a nursing home, but Vanessa won't allow it. She bids him goodbye since she has to work, but not before asking him to feed him. He goes over to feed the little booger and he wants to play peekaboo.
Peekaboo, I see you.
Guess the heartwarming milk talk last night didn't do anything, huh? Cal takes the bag, don't know why he didn't just take the diamond, and books it. But suddenly sees Vanessa running back to the house. He then drags Daryl to the sofa, and puts the diamond in a baby bag.
Honey, I know that you're tired, but you have to watch the baby. If you take your eyes off him for a minute, God knows what could happen.
Well, God also knows he's been knocked out with a frying pan, lady, and she asks him to take him to the park while Calvin plays dumb and sits still. Daryl's obviously excited, which is why he brought with him a box of toys. First, they play baseball and... nuts to butts baseball action here, friends. Next game is air pump rocket, which Daryl's asking to pump it as much as possible. Calvin aims and launches. Houston, the cockpit, the Eagle has landed. Next is Daryl instructing little Calvin on how to throw an airplane. At this point, what do you think will happen? Vote on your phones now. Calvin throws and... it's like these toys are magnetized to his crotch. Are you sure these aren't Vanessa's toys? After another agonizing nut shot, Daryl sits this one out with Richard and Greg. Then Greg runs his mouth on how his son will totally pummel Richard's son. Well, at least Richard isn't as barbaric as Greg. Despite the groin bumps, Daryl is actually beginning to like the whole father gig. Right on cue.
Boom! Ha ha! CeeLo! That's right. Ha! Dig up in your eyes, cars, and your baby cat, and pay the man.
It's great how he turned the whole playground into a filthy casino. He then tells him to bring some more moolah and get some nudies. Unexpectedly and expectedly, the kids are revolted at this, so they piss off. Richard and Daryl then agree to get some ice cream, so Janet has to watch over Calvin. Percy coos like a brainlet bird and Calvin runs to meet him.
Cal, you get the diamond? Yeah, send the diaper back. Come on.
They both rush to the diaper bags and Cal says it's in the one with the duck on it. Spoiler alert, all of them have ducks. Calvin makes a guess for the middle, which Percy then takes, and Janet notices this whole man-child ordeal, blows a whistle, and chases after the sick pervert. Percy flocks off, and it was actually Greg's diaper bag he took. That's gonna end well. The two alpha lads then head for the car to go home. Of course, Daryl refuses to get the key, but little Cal curb stomps his toes. He refuses again, so he gets another nut shot. If this guy actually gets kids, they're gonna be either immortal or close to death. Speaking of death, there goes Cal. Daryl halts some crackhead mom in a minivan and asks her to go after Cal. Calvin seeing Daryl in need for speed and in hot pursuit, so he speeds up, but not before a cop joins the burnout in paradise. The mom driving really snorted something because she's blissfully on the phone while in a high-speed chase. She nearly misses two cars, so she's gotta gain some nitrous, right?
Oh, come on, baby, let's go, let's do this!
The chase goes on, and this time mom is doing her makeup. Did she buy her license? Then her kids complain that her baby dropped something worse than a fat man or a little boy. So she changes those babies' diapers while going 100 miles an hour. Ahead, Ultra Magnus sets out to ram him clean off the road. Just in the nick of time, she dodges the truck, and Daryl's left crying like a little wuss.
Oh, no!
The cops finally blow the car's tires out, and he crashes on a water barrier. So he goes back to the baby seat. Right on schedule as always, the cops catch up to the crashed car and investigate. Of course, they think the imaginary criminal got away, but the baby's alright. Daryl catches up and finally gets his boy from the one time. He's being told the car is totaled, but...
Screw the car, as long as he's okay. Sorry, man. Sorry, little buddy.
Mr. W.
Yeah.
Your boy came through. I got it.
So Percy joins Walken and his goons in some shady room. Walken spills the contents of the bag on the table, strike one. Percy says that it's somewhere in there, but Mr. W touches a dirty diaper instead. Strike two. Walken says his 24 hours are up, and that's supposed to be strike three, but I guess Walken's a merciful god.
Follow him. Find the spot. Get me my diamond. Let's stick them both in the ground.
Oh, that's kinky. And somewhat illegal. Daryl's too paranoid now, saying he might miss their big game. Greg convinces them otherwise, so Daryl takes Calvin to the game anyway. Following suit, they arrive at the hockey arena.
Are you ready to see how exciting a hockey game really is? It's like boxing on ice.
Alright, where's Pac-Man with the Elsa outfit then? The game begins and all is well when Cal snoops that diamond from the baby bag. Daryl almost catches him, but not before he puts it in his mouth. Daryl wonders what's in his mouth, so he swallows that diamond like a champ. Didn't think he'd be able to do that, but let's just say he's got like Sasha Grey's throat. Of course he wants this thing out of his system, so he grabs that beer from the fat douche next to him.
Right, who needs drinks?
Cue the men acting like chimps over a hot girl. The fat rat asks for a beer refill. Then Daryl and his buddies ask for one. Little Calvin parkours over puberty and rudely compliments the waitress's, assets. And the waitress thinks it's Daryl. And...
Pig.
Tramp.
Then Daryl gets the golden shower from the girl. Honestly, don't know if this is the better version. Daryl is left dumbfounded on what just happened, and to add insult to injury, the fat mongrel thinks he's been drinking his beer. All is seemingly resolved when some idiot on the other team screws up and he gets booed to insanity. Calvin seizes this opportunity and... Pissed off player asked who did that and everyone points at Daryl. Guess his balls aren't the only things going in the IC. Calvin shouts, "Hockey fight!" and then hops on the player like an alien facehugger. He gets his ear, but the hockey player throws him on the ground and stomps on him, as if they were making Angelina's face. I'm more surprised that it only made a slight bruise. Daryl's reflecting to Vanessa on how he might be a terrible father, but tries to recuperate by planning to throw Calvin a birthday party.
And I got a little surprise for him.
Of course. Well, the costume freak tries to woo over Calvin, but he just got beat up by a hoser, has a nasty hangover, not the movie, and a priceless jewel stuck up his large intestine.
Maybe we should talk about manners. Now, manners are very important.
Predictably, Rex doesn't shut up, so Calvin throws him some more fighting words.
I just got out of rehab.
Ah, Jesus. Schneider, why? You're out of rehab. Robbie, man, you don't have to do stuff like this anymore. He then says he still needs the job, but if he didn't, he'd beat the diamond out of Calvin's stuffing. There will be bloodshed. Calvin goes for his tail, rips it out, and pummels him from inside out. The other kids gang on him as well. At some unimportant place, Pops is eating in a diner while watching the news. He then sees Calvin being reported in the news as a criminal, and then he zooms off. Back at the trailer trash party, Greg hustles everyone to play a football game.
Come on, we gotta scar these kids for life, all right? We gotta toughen them up a little bit.
Father of the Year award next to Virgil. The dads agree to play while the moms watch. The game starts and Greg tackles Daryl like he dropped the soap. The second round starts. Richard's up to get absolutely mauled by Greg's tackle. I love the smell of physical abuse in the afternoon. The third round fires up and Greg mows down children faster than child conscription. People are starting to complain about how much of a bellend Greg is, but he doesn't care because it's football.
It's time to kick some butt. Come on.
Fourth round goes off and Calvin hikes the ball. Calvin scores a touchdown, and Greg backseats his own son. Yippee!
You gotta eat some lightning and crap thunder, son!
That's actually pretty good. I'm saving that one. Daryl gets them all in a huddle and says they gotta make this last round count. Calvin goes full Senator Armstrong and rams Greg clean off while Richard's kid scores the touchdown. Is good.
Dad, yes, son. You suck.
Poetic justice. For the victory, they finally gather around Calvin to sing him happy birthday. He says he's not going to cry, so he proceeds to cry. He wishes he had a family like that. And then Pop shows up. It's great timing. He then gives a sappy speech about babies and gives a totally not sus teddy bear to little Calvin. Out on the front of the house, Percy comes in, rings the doorbell, and Daryl is there to greet him. He poses as Calvin's father, and it doesn't go so well.
The guy who gave his own kid a tattoo?
Wait a minute, I can explain that. His mother was in the service.
Daryl confronts Percy as a crummy father, even asking about the knife wound. Percy then says that he needed discipline. You can't make this up. Percy's intimidated, so he declares fisticuffs. Then Daryl proceeds to beat him with a trash can lid.
Looks like Percy's partner decided to keep the rock for himself.
Back at the party, Janet and Vanessa are discussing how the whole mother thing works, while Janet's tending to her own kids. To them, she's everything, which is why she loves being a mother.
Mommy, I don't feel good.
What's the matter, honey? You got a tummy ache? Yeah? Maybe it's from eating 16 pieces of cake?
She then gives him castor oil to make him poop. Calvin sees this and gulps the entire bottle down. Then his tummy has a little Ferguson riot of its own. Daryl and Vanessa sees his agony as he lets hell break loose.
Ain't that cute? He made a little surprise.
Vanessa takes Calvin to the bathroom to clean up the second fallout he made in his diaper. In the living room, Daryl takes a load off and Vanessa excitedly ambushes him, thinking he put the diamond in Calvin's diaper, and before Daryl could explain, she runs off to book dinner. Later that evening, the love-struck couple leaves Calvin to Pops as they go on a sussy dinner.
Yeah, the good little boy. 1, 2, 3. And you come clean, little punk. Who are you?
You know what? Let's do a drinking game. Drink every time you see a nut shot. 'Cause here's one. Calvin confesses that he did rob the jewelry store and he just wants the diamond so that no one could get hurt. He then calls up Percy to pick him up and the diamond in an hour. Pops doesn't take too kindly to this, so another boss battle. At dinner, Vanessa expresses her gratitude for the diamond, even if she doesn't think it's real, interrupting him every time, up until she decided to adopt the jewel thief known as Calvin. Daryl then forgets about the diamond due to his excitement, and they toast to their irresponsible decisions. Following the freaky couple home, they catch Pops being Calvin's top. The couple separates the two, and Vanessa calls Whispering Glen. Trust me, I know it sounds like a rampant molester's name, but it's a senior home. The people from Whispering Glen come to take Pops away, but he says one last thing. Teddy Bear knows everything. Daryl looks around the pigsty of a house they have, and they see the teddy bear and its electronics. Upstairs, Vanessa gets upset that her father has to go to a mental institution, and she puts all of her jewelry, including the diamond, into a box, cries off in the bathroom. Calvin then prepares to make his move. Back downstairs, Daryl hooks up the teddy bear to the TV and sees Calvin spilling his guts in the recording. He runs upstairs to warn Vanessa about Calvin and the diamond, but they already pulled a Houdini. Vanessa rushes to get her dad back while Daryl calls the 5-0. The diamond casino heist is done, and these two gamers did well for themselves. They both celebrate shortly because Percy spills the beans on how Walken will storm the house and game end everyone in it. Calvin kicks Percy out of the car and heads back.
Hey, can I help you?
So is this the guy that double-crossed Percy?
Yeah, that's the guy, boss.
Daryl swears he doesn't have their diamond, but they're brutes, so they just try to beat it out of him. The prodigal son returns. Walken asks Bruno to take him upstairs. Bruno takes Cal upstairs to the crib, but as he turns off the lights, that happens. I love dumb slapstick. So, it happens again. And again. Downstairs, they're already punching the stuffing out of Daryl as they ask for the diamond. Walken then threatens to hurt the kid, and Bruno falls off the stairs. Daryl makes a break for it. Walken orders the two butt cheeks to get to the kid while he gets after Daryl, and at this point, turns into a discount Home Alone because Roscoe catches up to Calvin upstairs, but he fires that nut rocket at him. Drink. Calvin charges at him with a toy golf club and beats him like John Lennon with his wife. In another room, Daryl plays hide and seek with Walken, as he's got a fun little toy, an M9 Beretta. Fortunately, Daryl has slap toy arms and slaps the Diavolo out of Walken. He then picks up his gun with his flaccid hands and holds Walken at gunpoint.
Back up, or I'll shoot you.
She'll be tough guy.
Classic. Love the acting here. Roscoe and Bruno finally catch up to Calvin, who's in wall suspenders for babies. Totally not predictable on what's going to happen next. The two goons throw a little tough guy talk before being beaten by a manlet in a onesie. Roscoe doesn't block and gets an uppercut kick to the face. Calvin recoils back and does the flying thunder god to Bruno. Both morons are down for the count. Walken and Daryl see this, so Walken takes Daryl to Cal so that he can keep his eye on him.
Tell him to get rid of the plane. Get rid of it!
Calvin, throw the plane.
I hope Walken's into CBT. Calvin throws the plane and everyone drinks. Cal holds him at gunpoint right on time. It's the one time. They take Walken and the goons away while he pleads that Cal is not a baby. For once, that was the only thing he said right. Calvin tries to make a break for it, but one of the cops gets him.
Isn't this your kid?
Dad?
Yeah, that's my son. Now, Calvin, don't you have something for the nice policeman?
In the disguise of a kid, Cal eventually gives up the diamond to the police. The cop tells him he'll get a reward of $100,000. Convenient. Of course, a cut will go to his son. The police will keep in touch, and they leave.
Oh, come on, let's not get all mushy. Shake hands and part ways like men. No hard feelings?
Cal isn't really good at hiding his feelings. He actually enjoyed being Daryl's son, even going as far as telling him that he'll be a good father, while he poorly attempts to gaslight Daryl. It's too painfully obvious for Daryl as he just plays along and sees Calvin tearfully walking away like a wet diaper. Daryl then comes out and offers to share a glass of milk.
Want to share a glass of milk? Enough all this girly stuff. This ain't Brokeback Mountain.
Rich, coming from a manlet who cries like a Kardashian. Calvin then offers to go to a bar instead, and then later settles for a strip club. This is like a Marvel / How I Met Your Mother film, so way down the road.
You a cute little fella, and got a lot of your grandpapa in you too. Oh, that little guy's so cute, just like his daddy.
Cat, cat, cuckoo.
Daryl and Vanessa actually make a kid, and an ugly one at that. Roll those credits. That was Little Man. What'd y'all think? Personally, it's alright. I don't know. Prove me wrong in the comments with the #CinemaRecap. It was a film by Columbia Pictures. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you real soon. Till next time.